Hi, I'm Marcos Lobo, and this is the Optimist Engineer. Today, security beyond the Asturian Navy. It's my pleasure to have Jose Manuel Redondo for driving this session today. Redondo is a Tenured Associate Professor at the Department of Computer Science in the University of Oviedo. Redondo, welcome to the Optimist Engineer, and thank you for being here today.
Oh, thank you, Marcos, for inviting me, because it's a pleasure to talk in this podcast, to try to share my ideas with everyone.
The pleasure is totally mine, because just for the audience to know, Redondo is one of the best teachers that you can find in the University of Oviedo. He was my teacher at that time, and yeah, I have many stories that maybe at some point I will tell. But it's a real pleasure to have you, Redondo. So today we have here to talk about security. Security is one of the main things nowadays. Everything is growing in many dimensions. So I'm very curious to know a couple of things and have your opinion about a couple of topics that we want to discuss. So maybe we can start up a little bit and warming up. Redondo, could you tell briefly to the audience where do you come from and what are you doing nowadays?
Well, I come from Mieres. I was born in Asturias. I have all my education here in Asturias, from the first grades in the college to the full university and my PhD. And I come from a background of programming. I was one of the longest programming teachers in my school. I think that my tenure there was like I cannot really tell, but maybe 17 years teaching C++, C, and C#. But as I grow up and reach the critical age of 40 years old, I decided to change my career, not going out of the university, which I think about it, but I decided to change inside the university. So I transformed my programming background into a security background. And now I am trying even to integrate both, because programming security is a very important thing. So I can think that both things can benefit from my own experience, my past experience as a programming teacher and my current experience as a security teacher. So I am now trying to develop a higher education program inside the University of Oviedo regarding security. Of course, it is very in his first stages, in his infancy. So currently I am teaching 3 courses about that in the Master of Wealth Engineering, and 1 in the degree on software engineering here in the University of Oviedo. For the 4th can be coursed for a student that goes to the degree, to the master, can be taken in order, and the 4th are integrated, which is my main goal, to offer to the people not a master, because I can't yet right now do that, but offer a couple of courses that deal with the different aspects of security, defense, infrastructure, offense, red team, blue team, but that are all integrated together. So everyone that takes the full 4 courses, can have a more global idea about the security world and can make a well-informed decision about what's the future regarding this the world. I mean, because people are pretty lost about what is security. Security is a lot of things. So I will show you a lot of things regarding to security, so you can take your decision better in the future. Some of the people decide to go for the offensive path, which is the most common one. I don't know why. Others decide to take the defense path, the blue team, and many others, the majority of them, decide to do anything else. I mean, but at least they don't hate security, which is my ultimate goal. So that is basically what I'm doing today, trying to make people to know security and all the main paths that it has, and most importantly, not to hate security, so they can integrate it into their future activity, which is the best thing I think I can do.
And I believe from the feedback that I got from the university is something that definitely you are achieving. As far as I know, the students are really happy with the subjects that you are putting in place in the university. So by the way, congratulations for the great work that you're doing.
Thank
so
you.
You were mentioning courses, tackling different aspects like infrastructure, these kind of things. Also, everybody see you in the internet building something that looks really nice in terms of teaching about security. I saw in the LinkedIn this Navy that you are building. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, well, when I first started thinking about doing this, like 5 to 6 years ago, somebody told me, yeah, mister, but you will not sell the idea to the people unless the people can hold it, unless the people can view it. So they say, well, how can you make someone which is completely strenuous to the security topic, how can you transmit your ultimate goal? And my friend, this is a marketing expert, says, look for a metaphor, look for an idea that projects power and that projects integration. So as I am a worship aficionado myself, I said, which is best to project power and integration than a Navy? I mean, a task force from a Navy. So I just use my experience with modelism and SIP modelism to try to model the intent of the course for the point of view of a warship. So, for example, my defense course is modeled from a frigate, which is a purely defensive ship. Which is the goal is to intercept and to stop threats, intercept and stop. My attack course is a nuclear submarine. As I don't want to offend anyone, I pick up a fictional nuclear submarine, the Red October, a film that I also love, coincidentally. Okay, and for the first course, for the degree course, at the beginning, I thought that I have no good metaphor for that, so I just leave out of the equation. But I discovered that I can integrate it into the rest, because it's very easy. Once you start developing things, you see how things are just coming out as a puzzle. So I use the most modern warship of the Spanish Navy as a model, because I mean it's like a stealth course that you think that you wouldn't like, but in the end, my impression for the feedback that I have is that people do like it. So, and I promise you that I am doing my best to integrate the state-of-the-art technology into that course, even if it is a degree course that is supposed not to be as advanced as a master course, and it is not, but that doesn't mean that I cannot mention you the latest trends. And this started to grow like a madman from there. So I am developing a programming security course. Part of it will be offered nationally for free, thanks to the INCIBE, which is I coincidentally work with a project with INCIBE. So part of my materials are going public nationwide, and I use the still to be built newest frigate on the Spanish Navy, and it's just for programming security, but can be integrated with the previous that I have. I use another semi-fictional submarine for another attack course that I didn't develop. For the fraud part, for the cyber crime part, I use a minor unit. So, I mean, the thing is, I am Spanish. I am offering this as part of, I am a Spanish tenured professor, as part of the state effort to teach cybersecurity to the people. So I use the good courses, the prevention courses, I use Spanish metaphors. And the offensive course, I use fictional things, Russian, but just coincidentally fictional things that are not related with the Spanish Navy. And it's very funny because people use, I am studying the Blas de Lezo, but what is the name of the course? I don't know, Blas de Lezo. And it was like, but you don't remember oh no, I have to look for it. No, this is the frigate. And it's the power of marketing. It's incredible because I have experiences that say, okay, you don't remember the name of the course? No, it is the cool frigate with the big radar. And I say, okay, well, but do you understand the contents? Yeah, of course, I have to. And I use international frameworks to develop that thing. So they are divided in modules. They have a hardened model, a detection model, an isolation model to prevent yourself to be in an attack position, and active security, deceiving and blocking attackers, which is the part of the defensive part that people like the most. I want to swear word, attackers. And okay, I can teach you to do that, but please don't focus on that because you have to intercept and prevent. Yeah, no. Okay, yeah, nice. But the deceive, using deceiving to fool people is just, you just trap people like bees in honey. It's like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I found myself that even if these are the models that are taught the last, they have a very big acceptance. And the proactive security, the punching your enemy, and because I will not only hold back and withstand your attacks. No, I will attack back, is something that I try to do to make people think and to see that defensive part is not something passive. You can be very proactive. And well, the Asturian Navy started as a joke, as a marketing experiment. People from the Asturian government asked me for a little, I developed a little stickers for giving to my students just as a gig, okay? And nice. I found myself at Borja Sanchez, the advisor of the science in the student. I want a sticker of the Blas de Lezo. Oh my God, yeah, here you are. Thank you. I love Blas de Lezo. So I must say that the government of Asturias, part of the member of the government of Asturias, has stickers of my courses. So it's, for me, it was like, okay, I call my friend and say, okay, please allow me to invite you to any place you want. Do whatever you like because you give me the best advice for promoting my work that I couldn't ever imagine. And it started as a joke, talking with someone in the cafeteria about how can I sell my work, not because I want to earn money, because I don't earn. I mean, I have in Spanish it's called tarifa plana. I earn the same no matter if I do one subject or 10. Okay, this is, I mean, one is my obligation and the rest is pure vice. And the thing is that it's something that I want the people to know that it exists. So if you want to do that, you have my option, or you can go abroad. But at least you have my option.
Correct. I can see, Redondo, that you are still attracting the students as when I was in the university as well. So you are keeping up in that matter. That's absolutely great.
That's my job.
Just last question about this topic, and we can move on. These courses, this Navy that you are building, if I'm a brand new student that I'm willing to start in a university or whatever, me as a student, where I can see this thing, how, I mean, where should I go to learn from you, to learn these courses that you are offering nowadays?
Well, that's a tricky question because, well, I offer things for free, of course. My degree course is free. The next year, the new version will be free. The first course of the master will be free the next year if everything goes well. So if you have previous knowledge, you can just take this material for free because I offer them for free, of course. I don't know if I can offer videos because it will take a lot of time and I don't know if I have that time, but in the future, my intention is to offer videos. But in this precise moment, I can only offer the labs and the theory. But for taking my courses, you need a university background because I have to explore the like 32 different courses in my degree, because one of the things that you learn the first thing you learn when you go into teaching cybersecurity, and even the ICM and the IECUBO, I don't know how to say that in English, sorry, teaches you is that security is traversal. It touches everything from the most small part from the hardware to the highest abstraction level. The security is traversal. So my obligation was, when I prepared my tenure, was to integrate security into the degree. So it's very difficult to extract the course if you don't have a university background, or if you don't have previous software engineering knowledge, because I suppose that you have experience and knowledge in programming topics, network topics, operating system topics. That's the reason why I'm the second semester of the third course. You cannot take that course just fresh, like new, and just go with that, okay? For that, I have another thing. And the thing is that if you come from a university background, I don't care about, something technical, okay? Even it doesn't have to be necessarily a software engineer background. I mean, if you know basics about programming, basics about network, basics about how to deal with Linux and stuff, I think that you can successfully go and take the course and learn something. Mainly not everything, but something, okay? And there is an initiative which is called the Open Courseware, which is take from, it's a program that includes a lot of universities in Spain, and the OCW program, the Open Courseware program, holds my current course and the next one, and offers that for free to everyone. My plan is that next year my computer security course, the basic one, is offering both languages, both English and Spanish. And it's already in English, but I don't know. Well, I ran out of time, so I couldn't.
Is that a commitment?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, because I have already done that, so it's just published then.
Wow.
So no, because the last year I ran out of time to finish the Spanish version. I teach the English version, but I also help my team to develop the Spanish one, because they are carbon copies. So we have to make. The materials in the English and the Spanish parts are carbon copies. Promise. Okay. If they are not carbon copies, it's a mistake. So we have to deal with, because it's a big course. Okay. It's even it's a big course and ample. When I say previously that I want to touch every major branch on cybersecurity, I was not lying. It's ample because I try to offer a view, a basic but full enough view of everything. And yes, I will take that into Spanish and English. And the next one, the infrastructure one, sorry, for the moment, only in Spanish, because I only teach that in Spanish, and properly translating a course such size is time-consuming. Not problematic, because it's not, but it's time-consuming. So you can go to OpenCourseWare, and you can come to my ResearchGate to see brief materials about things that I do. And in the future, I don't know. I have two guides in development for the INCIBE, okay? One is Programming Security 101, an introduction to programming security, which is the part of one of the undeveloped ships of my Navy. I developed a little more, 20% of the current content. I developed that from the INCIBE, and it is in the press. They say to me that if everything goes well, maybe in January of 2024, it will be online, because they have to. They have a press department which puts the material nice and with drawings and good colors. The things that I lack of, which is I have no sense of style and fashion. And the next one, which is I was typing it previous to here, more or less will be February, March, and it's like a brief condensation of what I teach in the master. Brief. Almost 200 pages, but brief, okay? With it's aimed at the startups. Is minimum things you have to do as a startup to develop a secure enough product with the less cost for you, because as a startup, maybe you don't have a lot of resources to invest into cybersecurity. So I can teach you tricks to have much more security without, punching your bank account. And the other guide is the same orientation, but regarding people, machines, and networks. It's cheap ways of being more secure as a startup, because the INCIBE now is involved into a startup promotion program, a very important startup promotion program, and I was tasked I was hired to develop materials that make a startup life easier in the security part. Okay, so that will be another way of teaching something that I have developed. And if you are a professor, a university professor, I think that the next year you will have the option of taking a program which is called Unidigital. Unidigital is a very big program with a lot of skills that will be offered for free. Well, for free because the platform in which I uploading the content is called OpenADX. So I assume that open means free, okay? But nobody told me that. It's just an assumption. And I have, the University of Oviedo, through me, offers the full program of security awareness and training that is aimed to different levels of security, of professor, not security professors, university professors itself. I have the level A1 for the basic user, A2, B1, B2, and serious stuff for technical aware people, T1, C1, which is big. I have things from the master, so it's something big and strong, and the C2 that it is here only in my brain, but it will be even bigger. So I have something for everyone. And all the 6 levels are integrated one into another. So when you take one, you have ties to the second you have ties to the third. So to promote you continue learning. So yeah, you were right. I am involved in a lot of things. Oh my God.
Yes, we were mentioning that before the interview.
Oh my God.
It's not getting bored at all. I mean, it's everywhere, expanding like the sun. It's amazing, Redondo, the amount of work and the good things that you are doing. Because
I really hope so.
From what I investigated with all these things, your target persona is not only the students, but also other teachers, also the companies, startups, which is one of the, let's say, fields that they would get more profit of these kind of things, because if they can start from the scratch, that's absolutely great. You mentioned before security is traversal. Now let's jump more into the software engineer and this traversal point of view. What are the main trends that you believe that as software engineer and developing, either as a student or as a senior engineer in a company? What should I take in consideration in terms of security when I'm implementing my microservices, my infrastructure, whatever?
Well, that's a good question, because it is the same question that motivates the topic 6 of my degree course. What you are actually a software engineer, because you are almost finishing your degree, but nobody told you about security yet, because I am the one that says that. But okay, you have the skills to develop anything you like. What can you add there to develop that in a secure way? My main, there is a whole theory about that, but my main topics are: validate. Treat your client as they were convicted and dangerous criminals. Validate everything. And then people say, I cannot treat my client as a criminal. Yeah, you should. I mean, don't tell the client that it is a criminal, but should.
Of course,
in the background. No, you will send every piece of data you want to say to me can be corrupted, can be twisted, can be bad, can be even maliciously altered, because you are a psychopath. Treat your clients as psychopaths, because you don't know which is your client. Your client can be just an old man which only want to drag a little bit of money for the bank account, or can be a very bad person that wants to just break your banking system. And also people doesn't realize that clients are not only persons. When you develop microservices, your client can be another microservice that can be tainted, can be corrupted, can be, can be altered, or can be malicious, can be developed as a malicious microservice. So, that's it. The input must be treated with extreme caution. I make even a nuclear plant metaphor in which when you go into the reactor is the input, and you want to go outside, which is your program, you have to decontaminate very thoroughly the thing, because it might be radioactive. And when you get something radioactive, what happens? Yeah, you break yourself. Oh my God. It's a metaphor that it's very crude, but it lands into the people. Okay, and so everyone sends the input filters like decontamination stations that just shower you. But it's something that I want to people to know, that they cannot trust anything, even themselves, even the databases, even whatever they read must be validated. And as I have a companion course about language programming development, compilers programming, I just forgot the name. It is the same technique. You have to pick up an input, and you have things to validate the input, either syntactically or semantically. If somebody says that his age is -31, is a troll. But if the age is A, the letter A is another troll. In that case, is something that the second case is a syntactical mistake, but the first is a semantical, because it is a number, but it's not a valid age. The same thing as you put 300 years. So people get into that. And when they get into that and know that everything can be validated, the second thing that I says is use application security testing tools. Use software composition analysis. Integrate that into your pipeline. Don't go into the production without having a full, clear report of your software SCA tool saying that every dependency is currently updated and has no known problems. Use a SAST, use a static analysis tool to check that even if they report problems with your code, you have validated manually your code and say that that problem are false positives. But at least you have to look at it. And if you are, have time and says, use a DAST, use a dynamic application security tool, like, for example, TAP, to test that your inputs are really validated. And if you met these three things, you will become more secure than most of the software that is in production nowadays. So, because I have examples of things that say, oh my God, Redondo, but those people doesn't even make an SCA scan. Yeah. Or they made it and they ignore the results, say, deploy anyway. So they use this library of Node that is greatly updated and has an RCI vulnerability. Yeah, they go live on purpose with that, or don't, but they don't check that periodically to know that now you are running a tainted library with you, and they say, but this is automatic. It has no effort. Yeah, if you know it. Oh, exactly. It has no effort if you know it, that this kind of tools exist. And I always say the same metaphor. In January, I started in February. You know what was an SCA tool? And everybody looks themselves and say, oh my God, and then you know why it's important to have this course.
Absolutely. I remember a couple of anecdotes about this, what you mentioned. You don't know who is your enemy, even yourself. Recently, a friend of mine told me, Marcos, we suffer a DDoS OS attack just inside because, was not intentional. Actually, there was a bug in a microservice and was reaching out an API like crazy because of the bug. And yeah, that's the definition of the DDoS attack, but it's not intentional, right? And the other API was prepared. No, they were missing throttling in the API. So there is a downtime, the database was not reachable, and so on, until you figure it out that the attack was from the inside. Took a while. And also
it was not even an attack.
Yeah. The other one that you mentioned about having this kind of tools that can tell you if a library has a CEV or something like that that is pending to be fixed. I remember, I think it was past year. Actually, it was past year around this time, end of the year, about Log4j, this
Yeah, that was a
vulnerability.
big one.
That one was a big one. I remember myself running out all
My
my
God.
services, patching
Oh, Jesus.
like crazy. So definitely, your insightful are really impressive, Redondo, about this topic. And talking about yeah, where is coming the threat and this kind of things. We know that unfortunately nowadays there are many wars, and the ones that at least we are seeing in the TV is from Ukraine, also Gaza nowadays. The direct question to you, Redondo, are we in a digital war too?
Yes. And I have proof. I say, are you fighting? No. But in a month ago, I was invited to a meeting in Asturias for presenting the in money that are going to invest into security infrastructure here in Asturias, which is very interesting. And I met a frigate captain from the army, from the Navy. Okay. Curious enough, a member of the Navy meeting me, which is very funny. And one of the things that he says was, we are 24/7 in the cyberspace. We are 24/7 into a war. Every place, on every time. Other states or nation sponsors groups launch attacks against critical infrastructure in Spain. 24/7. And they said, okay, and what do? You prevent it. Yeah, most of the time we prevent it. But not only that, we counteract. We counter-launch stuff. So they fire back. And I said, but this is not an act of war? I mean, if I suddenly launch a missile to the capital of France, didn't France declare war on Spain? Yeah, but for some reason in the cyberspace, this happens continuously. Every country attacks other countries, and that doesn't happen.
Wow.
So yeah, and so I say, you assume that you are in a war and everyone is firing upon themselves and nobody declares war on anything. Well, if we do that, Spain will declare the war to the whole world. And the whole world will declare the war on Spain. Yeah, that's not practical. Yeah, I understand your point. So, yeah, so the thing is, as everyone is attacking any other, they don't declare war upon themselves because they were always in a war. But we are in a war. For example, some things that happened in Spain are main events like elections and stuff. There are always something strange happening in the cyberspace that coincidentally matches the real time. For example, I am not saying that this is because of that, but don't you find curious that the same day of the investment of Pedro Sanchez, Red Seas fall down? And my students say, why? I mean, let me rephrase the question. How many fall downs of the whole Red Seas network do you remember? And they say, none? Don't you find it curious that the same day that happened? And everyone was like, oh my God. I am not saying that it was an act of war or it was an intervention from another state because I don't know. But I don't believe in random things. Because in security, you don't believe in random things. Everything happens for a reason. And I don't know the reason, but that happened. And we felt it. Okay? For example, in the pandemic, how many times the CEPE was taken down? And you take down the only public infrastructure that can provide support for people without employment in a moment in which the employment was just taken down because you cannot have presential employment. That is not random. That happens for a reason. Which reason? I don't know. I am not the CCN cert. I am not a spy. And I have no skills or tools to guess what happened. But I am not stupid. I mean, and so the thing is, please think, okay? Think about, even you don't know the reason, but think about that things doesn't happen because of random events. Somebody or a group is plotting something that you can see a part of it. And the war is, I mean, it's something that you know it's happening, but you only see glimpses of attacks from time to time. Curiously, when something major happened in the country. And yeah, and when the frigate captain says, yes, we are 24/7, 36, 5 days a week, a year in a digital world, you say, okay, I suspected that, but thank you for the confirmation. So my answer is yes, we are.
So what you say is just the same picture again, right? The iceberg picture once again, something on upper outside of the water, but under the water, we there are many things that we cannot see.
And it's better, most of the times it's better not to see that.
Yeah.
Because you will become disenchanted with the humanity as a whole. Okay. So, well, you know, I try to be optimistic.
Exactly. Optimistic is a word that I really like in this podcast.
Optimistic engineer. Yeah.
Exactly. So you see, we have to be prepared for this digital world, right? And nowadays there are a set of people like you that in different dimensions, teaching is a way to strike back, right? About security, about these kind of things. However, the future will come. New people will come, right? You are working in the university. How do you see the students? How do you see them? How they are behaving?
I can't take the old route and say the students nowadays has no worth because they don't know how. That's bollocks. Okay, that's bullshit. I mean, no. If you expect me to have this kind of discourse, you don't know me. But I mean, no. The students are, for my own point of view, the students are lost because they have so many options. They have so many materials and so many things that they can take that in the end, they don't know what they can take. And worst of it, they have been taught by some individuals in the past that they don't have the ability or they don't are good enough, because we are in a society, from my own point, this is a strictly personal opinion, okay? We are in a society in which we highlight the cracks, we highlight the flaws, the things that shines the most and is the most successful crypto whatever, or the most successful YouTuber, and the most successful is always most successful. Then if you put that as an example for the young people, you are telling the people that if you don't reach at least that level, you are worthless. And that is a cancer for the society, because I have known people who has a tremendous ability for one thing, okay, that is not the main thing, okay, but it's tremendous, and you have to focus that person and say, you are very good I can put you an example. I will not tell the name, because if I tell the name, maybe the student will come back and hit me because it's extremely shy. But say, let's say that there is a group of people in my degree, I'm talking about the students, that value themselves with the amount of green dots that they have in GitHub. Okay, they have pet projects, they have a lot of extracurricular activities, associations, talks. All of them are nice, okay, are very good. But the problem is when you take that as a measurement of your value as a professional. You can take that as a measure of your value as a professional. But if you use this measurement to value other people, you are diminishing the abilities of other people. So I have a case like 1 month ago of a person that was extremely depressed, and I am talking about clinical depression, not just the word, because he thinks that he was worthless, has no value as a computer engineer because his GitHub have only a couple of dots. And I say, look at this. This person that has a Christmas GitHub, okay, Christmas light tree GitHub, has an extreme ability technically, okay, can develop things, use patterns, is very good technically. But does any of the products that he developed reaches the real public? I say, no. Yeah. How can you prove that the products that this engineer designed can be usable? And he looked at me and said, that girl, I can say that it was a girl, develop a program to teach old people with no computing skills, basic skills about Office, Windows, you know? And she invented a conceptual model to make that extremely simple, both for the students and for the teacher that was designing the games, that I was amazed by the simplicity and the idea that only she developed, and say, you are a crack, because I will never have birth to that simple idea to teach people that, and your idea is incredible. And the program was good. It was not a technical marvel, because it doesn't require to be a technical marvel. It doesn't require Kubernetes, it doesn't require layers and microservices, because it's nonsense. But from the user point of view, it was spotless. It was perfect. I say, it's perfect. Oh, no, it's perfect. But it is not technical, the same technical advancement that those things. But this guy is an over-engineer, and you're just an engineer who has a problem, and you solve it brilliantly. You know what? This girl almost achieved the maximum score into the final degree project, and everyone in the tribunal says, this is perfect. I, of course, started to cry, because she even don't believe that. And say, yeah. The thing is, people are just into the flash culture, into the insta-win, into the appearance fan, and that push down a very big part of the society that are equally worthy, but nobody teaches them which other abilities can be used to serve other people, which is the final objective of a software engineer: serve other people for a profit or for not a profit, but serve other people. And they don't think into humans. I mean, your products are being used for humans. Oh my God! And this is one of the things that I am trying to debunk into the degree. No matter how many lines you throw into GitHub, the thing that values you the most is the ability to solve problems.
Correct.
Technically, in the UI, I don't know, but did you solve the problem? Yes, you are good. And most of the people doesn't get that until it is too late, or it is very late, or doesn't get that at all. And that pushes down a lot of brilliant careers. Yeah, I have many examples, but I have limited time. I cannot go into that. That was the latest one, but I have many others. People that you have to push up and say, you are very good. My God, just develop that skill that is needed in the world. And you have to open the eyes of the people and say, no, don't think about that your skills is to make a pattern into a pattern into a pattern, and make pet projects and have talks. And that's good, but that's not the only thing that is good. And that's my take into the youth today. I now consider myself an old person. My take into the youth today is that they must value themselves for the things that they are really good, but for that they have to open the field of view and not consider the good thing and the evil or just one thing, which is something that is because of the society. It's not the fault.
That's a great lesson, Redondo. Thank you for sharing that.
I told you I was old. I have old people lesson.
I'm pretty sure many people will listen to this, and most likely many people will reflect themselves on this example, this thing, because what you said is exactly that. Not only when you are a teacher, but also when you are a student, but also when you are more senior. Also when we are thinking about even more things that are more, I don't know how to say, but when you want a promotion or something like that, at the end of the day, many people can tell, oh, this person is amazing, or plus 5 stars or whatever. But at the end of the day, the recognition and the value will bring when you solve a problem. Whatever the dimension is the problem, but when you solve a problem, that's the key for that. So I will keep that sentence that you mentioned. Let's keep your mind open. Let's keep your mind wide about that. Redondo, we are reaching out the end of the interview. I really love this conversation, and I'm pretty sure we could continue for hours and hours on this, maybe for another occasion. However, I would like to for you to share to the audience some learnings from your experience. I don't know if you can share 1, 2, 3 tips that you can find valuable for the audience.
Well, let's continue with the thing that I just said. A living thing. Look, if I value myself for the criteria that they are used for valuing teacher, I end up being poor or mediocre. But I don't value myself for that, because I just reached the minimum thing that it was required for me to have a permanent position, and I just get rid of that that thing. What is my measurement? I am better than myself the last week, the last day, the last year. What have I learned? What have I improved? What have I done? And that is the only goal for me, that I teach that continuously in class. Do you now know what is an SCA tool? Did you know that 1 week ago? No, you have an improvement. You are in bed because you have a very strong clinical depression, but suddenly you find the courage and the strength to go and prepare yourself a coffee. That is a win. It seems to be minimal, but it is not, because you were here and you go forward. You go forward a tiny bit, but forward is forward, no matter if it is a tiny bit of a long amount. Long forwards are just chimeras, okay? If you think that you make a big jump, you usually left something in the middle and you fall back. But the thing is, my only advice for everyone that is listening to me is stop looking to others, stop looking to people that is more successful. Probably they are, but why do you care? And look to yourself just a couple of months ago, couple of weeks, couple of days, I don't know. Did you do something new, or you have a new skill, or a new something, new whatever thing, even a small thing? If the answer is no, then I think that you have to try to reorganize your life, to try to look for something. I don't, it's not something as a deal when there's a goal in life, but I mean, maybe I want to make a puzzle, or maybe I want to, I don't know, binge a series of TV, something, an objective. I don't care what objective this is. And just look for that, because when you look for that, you start small and you go big. You start with a tiny boat, and 5 years later, you have a whole fucking army, which you cannot even control because it's so big. And you say, oh my God, what I am doing. I don't know what I am doing. The only thing that I know is I'm going forward. And I'm trying to keep up with the problems as they came. And I don't try to overthink, which was one of my worst problems, overthinking everything. It just come by. I can do that. I can do that. I cannot do that right now. I postpone it. I cannot postpone it. I leave it. Nobody will die if I leave something. Maybe some people will get angry at me, but I mean, jump the queue, dude. There are a lot of people which is angry at me because of my ideas. So I don't care. I mean, the only thing that is important is I am better than myself a couple of days ago, even if in a tiny sense. I mean, did I learn to cook, I don't know, peas, a cake, everything, small things. And when I teach that in class, you cannot imagine the faces of my students. They light. They say, what? Are you valuing yourself to be able to prepare yourself a coffee? Yeah. Did you know to prepare yourself a coffee yesterday? No. That has value. Say, you are like Schwarzenegger, because now I discovered that Schwarzenegger is a very good coach and had a very good advices to the people. I recommend you to hear Schwarzenegger videos because they are really motivating. And now Schwarzenegger is a very wise coach. And I took part of my philosophy from the Schwarzenegger videos. And when I say that, people laugh, but it is not a joke. I am telling that for true. Take it. And I mean, everything that I can tell to you is just can be condensed into that. Just try to be a better version of yourself continuously. And I tell you, widen your view about what is your value and what can you be useful for. But when you look to the others, please don't. Don't look to the others as a measurement, because it will poison you. Really.
That's a good one. That's a very good one, Redondo. Thank you very much for sharing that with the audience. So yeah, Redondo, if people love security, people want to know more about your Navy, is there a way that they can contact you via internet?
Well, I have a LinkedIn profile and a Twitter profile in which every time it is something new, I publish it just for promotion. No, it's not really promotion. It's because people, well, when you do that, will you inform me? They go, yeah, you just go into my that, and I promise you that in the exact moment that something goes live, I will put that into public knowledge, because it is, I mean, it is the reason why I do that kind of stuff. So you follow me into social network, LinkedIn, Twitter mostly, because Instagram and Facebook is abandoned, and Instagram I use a few times, even less, but maybe in LinkedIn and Twitter. And every time and later on Blue Sky also, every time I put something new or something new is released, for example, at the beginning of the next year, there will be a couple of things released, I will put the details here. I have a podcast, and every week on Monday, I have a new episode, and every time I put a new episode, I say new episode, and a little image to motivate people to hear that. I promise you that my podcast doesn't talk as much as me now, only 5 minutes. The radio prevented me to talk more than 5 minutes, so I'm hard cap to that. And it's just the most efficient way that I know to follow my craziness.
Yes, that's great. We will put the links into the description of the episode, to LinkedIn, Twitter, and also to your podcast in the radio. That, by the way, congratulations, because I know that is having a lot of audience. Many people is listening to you in the radio, so congratulations for that. And also we will include all the links that has been mentioned during the episode. So brilliant, Jose Manuel Redondo, Tenured Associate at the Department of Computer Science in the University of Oviedo. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you for hosting me.
Bye-bye.
Bye.